Welcome to my arts and crafts channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I already filmed this video once and I didn't like it, so we're doing it again. This is sort of a part 2 to a video that I made 3 years ago where I told sort of my story with ballet and my body dysmorphia and my eating disorder. In that video, in the end, I actually said I'm tackling this now in therapy, I'm dealing with it, and since then I haven't given you guys an update. And to think that so many people watched such an intimate video of me and a vulnerable one, it made me feel very uneasy at times. It made me feel very proud, and I'm very, very happy, and I still get so many comments to this day, and I am so happy that it resonated with you guys, and some people even shared their own story. And talking about mental health has always been very important to me. I'm so happy that I put this out there and then it went to the hands of people that I felt like were very careful with it. If you haven't watched video 1, it's still up. I don't know how long it's gonna be up. I ugly cry in that one, so I don't think I'm gonna cry in this one though. Get yourself a beverage of your liking and we'll get into the video. While I am talking, I'm going to be journaling a little bit. So first of all, trigger warnings. I'm going to talk about depression, I'm going to talk about anxiety, I'm going to talk about eating disorders in general, just to give you guys an update, because I feel like in 2023 and in 2024, I haven't really talked to you guys about this topic at all, even though I went through such a huge development and I feel so good. I'm going to tell you guys about it. Also, always remember, this is my story. When I mention depression, when I mention anxiety or any other diagnosis, this is just my experience with it. They were my symptoms. Everybody goes through things differently, and please be kind in the comments, and I think that's always the thing that you should be. Just be kind to one another, you know? So let's start after this video. November 2022, a hopefully very quick summary of the last video. I talked about my eating disorder that developed very early on in my life. Ever since I was conscious about my body, it was a very negative mindset. I always hated my body ever since I was 9. I wanted to diet. Food and dieting and body image sort of ruled my entire life, like since I was 9 years old. And then it got so much worse with puberty, with ballet becoming my real passion. I started dancing when I was 4 years old. It was never anything professional, but it was something that was very dear to me. It was my first love. I had a horrible experience with a teacher. I had a panic attack during class. I fell out with the girls of my group after a very special and very huge performance that I had, and that was in 2018. After that, everything went downhill. Every single ballet lesson would just trigger me immensely. I could not get out of this mindset that food was bad and that I was horrible. I had suicidal thoughts. I would just try to starve myself. That would not work. I would feel like a failure, hating myself, feeling like I was ugly and fat, and just very, very bad picture that I had of myself. I was very sick and I could not get out of that. Senior year rolled around, I was miserable. I stopped dancing, didn't come to class. I had very disappointing things happening in my life, and then I moved, fell into a terrible depression a few months after I moved, and got into therapy in 2021, which I still feel so thankful about. Now that you're all caught up, I think we'll start 2023. So at the beginning of that year, I felt very stressed. University was really getting at me. I had more depressive episodes than I had prior because I already did a tremendous amount of work when it came to my anxiety, but I felt very stressed out, and I asked my therapist if medicine was an option. I wanted something that would support me because I really don't have the energy to currently work on this. I started escitalopram, didn't have that many side effects. I definitely noticed a difference because I felt much better, and then after finals week I felt better in general. I started taking that. At the beginning of 2023 I was very comfortable with my body, which up to that point I never have. I felt like I was accepting my body the way that it is. I started accepting my curves and the way that my body just looked, and I felt really happy about it. I was like, yeah, I'm curvy and I like it. I'm happy about it. I had a very good year. I had a very good summer. At the end of 2023, I think fall, I went to my first ballet class at the ballet school that I'm at right now. I'm in a beginner's class for adults. Almost everyone is older than me, and they're really kind, they're really nice. It's not the same thing that I had with obviously the girls that I had in my old group and at my old school, but it's a very fun and very easy environment. I feel comfortable. It's still sometimes strange, but we'll get to that. So I think I went 3 times. I was actually quite surprised of how confident I was. I felt really good. My body changed significantly. So the last time I went to ballet class, I was 17. I gained, I wouldn't necessarily say a lot of weight, but I gained a significant amount. And I, of course, lost my flexibility, my balance. It was quite frightening because after that lesson, I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything anymore. I was quite surprised of how easily I managed that situation, of how happy I was after that first session. It didn't stay that way. I went one more time, and I think the third or the fourth time was when I was wearing an outfit that wasn't really flattering. You couldn't even see my body. I just looked huge and big and square, and that really, really messed me up, sadly. During that lesson, I sat down and I told my teacher that I think I had period cramps or something, but in reality, I just hated what I saw. And it triggered me. I felt like I was right back where I was, which was really frustrating. That was really horrible. That was in December 2023, and I went to my car and I just bawled my eyes out. I was screaming, even saying like, I lost everything just because of my illness. I felt like it was all the pent-up emotion that I still had from the time that I now was sort of thrown back in. I wasn't surprised that it hit me. It was just so much at the same time. So after that, I felt quite great, to be honest. I felt really good. I had to get that out of my system to even consider coming back to dancing. Now with that knowledge of, yeah, you actually went through quite a traumatic thing and it is not very easy to deal with. I talked to my therapist about it. I realized, yeah, this is still affecting me. I have to be very careful. I can't just waltz back in and do whatever I did before. I really have to be mindful of my mental health. So I didn't go back to ballet. I think it was like the middle of December, and then it was winter break, and then I took a bit of a break. So I went sporadically, like not a lot. I feel like till summer I went maybe 4 times, 3 times, so really not a lot. So obviously if you don't attend class that much, you don't really form a bond with the group. Up until a few weeks ago, I always felt a little bit when I came to class, because I just know that I wasn't there really, and I had bad experiences with my old teacher who, when I was absent because I was struggling mentally, would talk about me behind my back, even though we knew each other very well. Instead of asking me how I felt, and said bad things, and I was like, oh, are these people the same? Are these people just like that? So I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable, I gotta be honest, but not because of them. It was really because it triggered old feelings inside of me. I attended class more frequently in summer, and then more now in the winter time. So ever since winter term started, I really put in more work into dancing, and I'm really happy about it. So I'm going to close that chapter first before I start talking about all the other stuff. I am dancing. I want to go every week, but it's not possible because of classes. I don't know what this year is going to bring, but I'm really happy and looking forward to class. Been working out more, and when I say working out, it means that I'm doing bar classes. I'm doing point, which I never did before. Completely new challenge for this year. I'm really glad I'm getting my flexibility back, and it's so much fun, and I'm so glad that I did all that work and that I'm finally back in a place where I can look at ballet simply as something that's an outlet and not something that triggers my illness, because it doesn't anymore. So I'm really proud of that. My relationship with exercise has been changing a lot this year. So let's get into that. 2024 started with heartbreak. I fell out with a group of, I thought, friends that I made at uni at the end of January, and it broke my heart. It was a really tough situation, and it's something that still makes me very sad. The entirety of last year, that whole thing would just affect me, and I would talk about it the entire year, because I've known these people for 2 years, and it really turned out they weren't the people that I thought they were. And in the end, I was sort of made out as someone that I know that I'm not. I still feel I haven't quite moved past that. The entirety of last year, I was very lonely. When you don't have any friends at university, you feel it. You're confronted with it every single day. You can't escape it, because everyone is in groups, everyone has their friends, their meet up to go into the library, to go study together, and I had that, and then I didn't. So put that over the entire situation of people broke my heart, and I totally misunderstood situations and totally trusted the wrong people. It was really hard, and I was not looking forward to university. Yeah, it was shitty. It sucked. I got through the winter term fine, had a great birthday, and in general, I had a good year. Summer had a lot of new things in store. I went to Venice. If you've been around my channel for last year, then you know that, because I uploaded a vlog. And that was an amazing experience. Even though I didn't go with anyone that I knew beforehand, it was still so so beautiful, and it made me so much more confident when I think about my ICP and traveling alone. And it was just an amazing experience, and it's something that I haven't done. So that was something that reminded me of how far I've come with my anxiety. Yes, I felt nervous, but I was fine. I was good. I was able to enjoy that stay and enjoy that time, and that was so valuable. If you compare it to the person that I was before, I was completely paranoid all the time. I was worried something was going to go wrong. I would have panic attacks in public because, I don't know, my train got canceled. It was really, really bad. And seeing how far I've come through that trip was just really, really great. Not only did I see a place that I wanted to see for a long time now, I also saw the results of therapy, the results of hard work, and just how far I've come. Wow, I didn't even talk about this. Before I even went on this trip, I finished therapy. At the end of 2023, I felt really good. I was at a point where I was very happy with myself, very stable. In summer of 2023, I started group therapy. My therapist asked me if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to try it out, and I was like, yeah, why the hell not? And the people that I met there were amazing. I still owe so much to them, and I'm so happy. But at the end of 2023, I said, I think I want to finish therapy next year, because I felt so confident, and because I felt like I had a solid foundation that I could stand on and really work with and really live my life. I wanted to know what it's like to be without therapy. I also realized that I didn't really need therapy anymore. When I started therapy, I would see a decline of my mental state throughout the week. So let's say I had therapy on Saturday, and I was good for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then Wednesday it started to decline even more. I had more episodes. I was really looking forward to therapy, and I was like, oh, I have so many things to talk about and I can't wait, and I really need that time. At the end of 2023, that feeling was completely gone. Not because I didn't like my therapist or I didn't like my group, but because I've already felt so good, and obviously I know how privileged that makes me. So I told my therapist that I was feeling like that. She was very happy. She said, of course, that's what every therapist wants for their patients, that they one day have the strength to say, at this point, I feel very good and I want to sort of complete it. I don't like saying end it, because who knows? I am so lucky of having made that experience. The fact that I was able to do it, I do not take it for granted 1 second, to have found someone quickly and to have found someone that I immediately clicked with and that I worked well with. And that is something that not everybody can say. I realized that. So when I realized I don't think I need it anymore, obviously I was going to then complete it. I told her at the end of January, and then I had my last session, I think, at the end of April. So before I went to Venice. It was kind of a sad session because, you know, I had to say goodbye to my group and to my therapist. But I am so happy. I could not be happier. I could not be prouder of that achievement. All the things that followed last year would just show me that that was the right choice and that that was a good thing, because I really wanted to know what life is without therapy, what I can do without it, what I am capable of. And I am capable of so many things, and that was the great thing about last year. I am also not on escitalopram anymore. I went off them shortly before my last therapy session. I feel great. I had a slight iron deficiency. Noticed my hair falling out more than usual. Took supplements and now everything's back to normal. That was the only thing that happened after that. A month after I finished therapy, I went to Venice. Already talked about how I was confronted with things that would cause my anxiety to completely freak out. And that wasn't the case. Felt like a normal human being. Then I had the most stressful finals week I ever had at university. But what I want to focus on is I was under so much pressure, and I was okay before 2023, I think. Every single finals week would completely take me out. I would be a complete wreck. I would have depressive episodes that would last for days. You could not do anything with me in that time. I was completely out of it. And now, for the first time, I had the most stressful time at university up until that point, and I was okay. I was completely fine. That was another thing that showed me how far I've come. Then I had my internship, and I was nervous, of course. I'm always a bit nervous, but again, I'm fine. The craziest thing is, when I look back on it, which I haven't really done, you know, you live your life and then, oh, suddenly 2020 is like 5 years ago. And I look back on 2021 and 2022 where I would have depressive episodes every day. And it was so hard. That feeling of being completely numb, I think, was the worst thing for me. I could deal with anxiety, I could deal with all the excitement and all the negative excitement, and I could deal with having these eating disorder thoughts. I could deal with that, but feeling nothing was the worst thing for me. It was really, really horrible because I'm a person that feels so intensely. Every single emotion that I have is, I feel like, heightened. I can't even explain it. I just feel things. I just feel things. Then going through a period of almost 2 years of having depressive episodes, which means that I felt absolutely nothing, was really horrible. And looking back on it and knowing, and I can count on one hand how many depressive episodes I had ever since I stopped going to therapy. And that number is 1. I don't want to start crying. I need to journal more. I need to write this down because sometimes it hits me like a truck when I talk about it in videos. I had one depressive episode. That was in summer. It was in June. My last depressive episode is... doing math. My last depressive episode was more than 6 months ago. And that is insane. I am so happy. All of the challenges, all of the hard things that I went through last year didn't break me. They were hard to go through. Another one of my dogs died in October, and I'm able to grieve him well. I'm able to feel all of the things that I want to feel without any mental illness overshadowing those feelings. I'm not worried about having another panic attack. I'm not worried about having a depressive episode or craving the feeling of wanting to starve myself. I'm not worried about that, which is insane because that was my entire life for years. And now being able to say, I'm doing really well. I want to cry because every time I feel like I need to cry, I want to cry, but it's embarrassing in a video, and it shouldn't be embarrassing, but I made so much progress. I've grown so much as a person. I'm excited for every single day. I'm excited for every new thing that happens. I'm excited for the smallest things. I can just live my life the way that I wished I could have done years ago, but I'm so glad that I'm able to just be. And I'm so thankful to my therapist and my family and my friends and everybody who supported me, and also you guys, because you gave me a lot of strength in those years. And those were the years that I was really active on YouTube, and that was an outlet for me because I didn't really do anything and I couldn't do anything, and YouTube and books and all that, they distracted me. So thank you guys, everyone who's been here for a few years now. I sometimes even forget what I've been through and what person I was. While I was sick, I was only sick. I was sick, Victoria. I wasn't anything else. There wasn't space for anything else. I was only, oh, today she's depressed, and today she's anxious, and today she's that. And I feel like I am closer to the person I was at 6 years old than I was... Didn't I say I was not going to cry? I just remembered myself at 6 years old, and then I remembered how soon that would turn into a girl that was just so mean to herself and so hateful towards herself just because she was different and because her body was a little bit different. And you can't change that. It's just the way that it is. But now that I'm doing so well, it's just really sad when you think about it. I have very childlike excitement, and I'm so glad that I got that back. And I'm so glad that I can really enjoy things and that I can really grieve, like the death of my dog, just because I feel better than I probably ever was. It doesn't mean that I don't still feel depressed. And not even a month ago, me and my sister went to my old hometown, and then our train was canceled, and I was again completely, I was very anxious, but it was okay, and I was not a complete wreck. And I have gained even more weight, and so much weight that it started to really bother me. You know how I told you in 2023 I felt, so good about my body and started accepting my curves. And of course, now that I started ballet again, these thoughts of I don't want curves, I want, a very skinny body, those are back, yes. But I'm really able, and I can't believe I'm saying this and really feeling it as I'm saying it, because I always wanted that, because that was always my goal, to have the progress, things that I'm able to do now, things that I'm learning. Those are much more valuable than what my body looks like. So no, I'm not completely confident, and no, I don't love my body. And sometimes I catch myself wanting to fall back into bad habits and old habits, but I'm able to navigate all of this. I am completely now the moderator in my head, and I'm the person who says what goes. I'm not ruled by any illness. I'm just really happy. So yeah, I didn't journal much. I just put in some pictures of when I was at Duisburg with my sister. Still have some pictures that I want to put in. That's the story so far. And when I talk about my depression and how I felt just a few years ago, it feels like a distant memory. Of course, every time, and I remember that depressive episode I had in summer last year, in those moments it feels like I didn't go anywhere and I'm right back where I started, which is not true. So I know that if that happens again, if I have another episode, I know that those feelings will feel like an old friend or like an old acquaintance that I wish I could forget. But, you know, those things are a part of me, and I've fully accepted that. I'm not ashamed of anything. I never felt an ounce of shame of my mental illness. It never even came to my mind that I should be ashamed of being ill. I'm still not. And I'm a person who can talk about it. And I'm a person who feels very good when I talk about it. And since I've seen the response and since I've seen what some of you commented over the years, not only under that one video, but in general, every time I talked about mental health, which has been the case on my channel for a while, I see that it can help people, but that's not necessarily the reason why I do it. Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of, and I'm really proud that I came out on the other side. It's not what it feels like for me, though. It feels like I've built something stable and something with a good, as I said, solid foundation that I can moderate and mediate and just live with. I don't know what else to say. I probably forgot one in a million things. I'm so grateful to have made that experience. I'm excited for this year. I'm really happy and I'm really proud of myself. Don't know how many times I said that, but I couldn't say it in the beginning of my therapy. Now I can. This was the update on my mental health journey. It's not over, obviously, but I feel like it was a necessary update for you guys to know what I've been through and the fact that I don't have therapy anymore. I don't know what else to say. There are so many things I wish I could say to people who are struggling. I was with people that were struggling while I was already feeling better. I would see them and know that I was exactly like them, feeling like there was no possibility of feeling better, and then I got better. I know it's always easy to say as someone who got better in the end, but I was completely hopeless and I didn't think life would have anything valuable for me anymore. And now I am grateful every single day to wake up and to get to another birthday and study and struggle and do extraordinary things, do ordinary things. I never liked hearing it. It will get better, but just know that there's a possibility that things will get better. That possibility is always there. I hope everybody's doing okay. If you're not, I hope you have people around you who can support you and that one day you'll be your own support system. I know this was a very long video, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, of course. And yeah, I'm going to continue journaling and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.